Welcome back, all you Fabricants and Fleshbags, to the super, not funny show, Supercast. The Supercast where we talk about all things superhero in the pop culture space. That's movie, TV shows, video games. We do speculation and we talk about the news. I, of course, am Mo de Poupée, your resident fabricant and comment extraordinaire on all things pop culture. And I'm joined by the anime expert, video game designer, and lover of all things superhero, my good friend Ladi. Ladi, how you doing today?
Man, I'm doing great, man. Happy to talk about what's going on in uh c- all this comic book news, and also where in the hell is Toby and Andrew? I will rage if I don't see them soon.
Toby and Andrew, they have on the invisible spider suits. That's that's actually we're going to talk about that absolutely. That this episode main topic is where the fuck is Andrew and Toby, and of course that means we're going to be talking about the Spider-Man No Way Home final trailer, and we're going to be reviewing Marvel's Hit Monkey that just dropped on Hulu, uh, from Marvel TV animation. We'll let you guys know what we think about that. But before that, we've got some news to talk about. News for the week. After last week's huge news week, we still got some leftovers and also some new developments. Like for instance, there's a talk about Ironheart suiting up in Black Panther 2. Michael Keaton's out there shooting some film as the Vulture, but for what film? Multiversus, a Warner Brothers, Smash Brothers type game has been announced. We get to talk about the trailer for that. Will Smith is in talks to be in the MCU, but he's got a real big stipulation about that. Delroy Lindo is going to be in Blade. I wonder who he's going to be. They've been talking about it, and we've been speculating about it. When and where will Miles Morales come in to the live action arena? Kevin Feige sends a letter out to the Black Panther 2 crew talking about their situation and their hiatus. And Scarlett Johansson has put on her producer's cap for an unnamed Marvel project. We're going to speculate about that. So all that and our main topic coming up right now. So Lottie, ready to get in the news? Let's do
Yep,
this. Let's do this thing.
can't
Um,
wait.
so Black Panther 2, Wakanda Forever. It's, it lacks T'Challa, for obvious reasons, but it's been making up for it by just rounding out the cast with a ton of people. And we've known for a while that Riri Williams, aka Ironheart, has been cast and has been shooting for that movie. So we got some rumors from Giant Freaking Robot that it's not just that Riri Williams is going to be in the movie. She's also apparently going to be throwing on her handcrafted, her artisan Iron Man suit, and
Hmm.
so that, which is kind of telling about the level that we're getting here. Am I on that? It's kind of telling
Yeah,
about the threat level that we're going to be seeing in this movie. So, you know more about Ironheart than I do. She's putting on the suit. Uh, how much is it going down, and who's going to be in trouble when she aims her blasters at them?
man. Listen, you know how much I love Ironheart. You know how much I love her, and I'm just happy to see that when the Iron Man slash Iron like characters are still going to be pretty much a part of the series. And I really hope this leads it to her having her own movie. I hope she's not a side character that only shows
Oh,
up
well, I
in.
was going to say, this is basically setting her up for her own Disney
Yeah,
Plus
thank
show.
please. Well, Disney that just she needs a movie as well. I might
Well,
be asking for too much,
you know what?
but
I have to say, just as an aside, I think they're doing the Phase 1, Phase 2 thing, but they're doing it on Disney Plus rather than in the movies. The
okay,
movies are, yeah, the
that's
movies,
fine.
yeah, the Disney Plus series are setting the characters up so that when they show up in the movies, you'll know who they are.
Okay,
So anyway, go
and
ahead.
yeah, this I just wonder who the big bad in this Black Panther movie is, because I mean, you already got the Chad, who is Mubaku, who's going to be in this movie.
Right.
Then
But
you have
he's
not.
not a bad guy though.
Yeah, he's not a bad guy, but he's the Chad. I mean, if Mubaku's in a movie, shit's going down. You know.
I
Then now
yeah.
you have Ironheart, so like crazy stuff's about to happen. So I'm excited to see what they have going on. If we find out that from the rumors of last week, if Black Panther had a bastard son all this time, and he's coming back to be like, what's his name, Killmonger 2.0, but he's actually is the truly rightful heir.
Right. Well, I suspect that one of the villains is going to be systemic
Hmm.
racism. Probably it's going to be something Wakanda uh, dealing with being the city on the hill and having people
Hmm.
wanting to come take their shit. It's gonna it's gonna be like that. I imagine. um, they've been talking about Atlantis or whatever. If Atlantis is involved, if Atlanteans are involved, then having an Iron Man suit wouldn't hurt.
Hmm.
It certainly wouldn't hurt at all.
Yeah.
And of course, having one of the, let's just call it one of the big brains, one of two of the biggest brains in the MCU on one side, that doesn't hurt at all either. Beyond that, it's hard to speculate about who might be the bad guys at this point. But if she's suiting up, they definitely aren't low level threats. I think it's
Yeah.
pretty. I just think it's pretty awesome because let me tell you. Do you remember when Captain Marvel came out?
Yeah.
A lot of people skipped out on it. They did. They were like, I just want to go see Endgame. Then they saw Endgame, and what happened? They're like, who the hell is that just flew through a damn alien spaceship? Like,
Yeah, that was kind of aggravating.
well, but see, here's the thing: is people were asking that question. You know what they did? They turned
They
around
went
and
back.
went and watched Captain Marvel, so they know who the hell she was. So
Yeah.
when she rolls out and kicks ass, people are going to be like, "Who is that? And why is she so awesome? And where'd she come from?" And then Ironheart, the TV show.
Yep.
So see, what I keep saying about Marvel Studios? They're the smoothest criminals in the game. They know what
You've
they're doing.
been hit by.
They give you that first hit for free. Then you're like, I need some Ironheart, baby. Where where is it?
Where's the Iron Heart,
When's it
baby?
coming? When's it coming, baby? Like
Where's
that,
the Iron Heart coming, baby?
and Kevin Feige's like Kevin Feige's like, you just got to re up. You got to come on, dog. You got to re up on that Disney Plus. You can't get no hit without re upping. He's on the corner like he's a crack dealer right now. He's a nerd crack dealer right now. This dude, I'm just saying,
Got us.
he's trafficking the white.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm just telling you, these guys they are 100% on top of this. They know what to do. They're just they're leading us around by our noses, and they know where they want us to go. So I'm excited. I'm basically can they make me more excited for this movie? Like I can't imagine anything else they can do to make me more excited besides saying Wolverine just shows up in the vibranium pile. Then I'll just be like, okay, you guys win.
You don't know. He might.
He just shows up just like, hey. So I'm excited for this. I can't wait to see. So when we learn more and hopefully get some pictures, we'll let you guys know. We'll talk about it some more then. All right. So speaking of someone suiting up, Michael Keaton. This guy is good. Good God, is this guy not just all over the place right now? He's in the
He's the,
He's gonna be in the Flash as
the nerd legend.
yeah. He's gonna be in the Flash as Batman. He's gonna be in Morbius. We just saw him in the Morbius trailer,
Yep.
and this comicbook.com was saying that he is going to suit up for the Vulture. He's shooting some scenes right now, shooting some film right now for an unnamed Marvel film. I put quotes around unnamed because, I
Hmm.
mean, come on. What else could it be? There's no upcoming Spider-Man related anything going on right now. Venom is not shooting. Morbius is done. What the hell else could it be for? Is he shooting a stinger or a end credit scene? What is he? Something like that. Maybe to be the connective glue between Morbius and Venom and Tom Holland's Spider Man. I, I don't know, Ladi.
Listen,
What do you think?
let me. So, is Michael Keaton the next J.K. Simmons of just being the Nexus event?
He's the Nexus being. He's that. He's the variant. That's see this is what happened. This is what happens when the TVA gets blown up. Like
Yeah,
Michael Keaton's everywhere.
He's in every. He's in Marvel, DC, Sony. He's in everything.
It's into the Michael Keaton verse now.
I said, is he now the new J.K. Simmons, just showing up at everything? It's somehow he connects the dots to everything.
Yeah, it's. I mean, yeah, and nobody's mad that he's showing up. Everyone's like, hell yeah. Like I'm like, hell yeah.
Michael Keaton is one of those guys that we just talked about with like Tim Allen.
Oh, you talking about not Tim Allen.
Tom
Hanks. Tom Hanks. Yeah.
Tom Hanks. If they say, if you come up to you as a director and says, "I want to be in your movie," you don't say, you know what you say? How many lines you want? that's the next thing you say. You just say, hey, how many lines you want? You just let him in. You just let him in. I don't care what movie it is. If it's a nerd movie, he has exclusive rights to be in any nerd movie he wants to be in. He has paid his dues and deserves it.
Yeah, and well, the great thing is that he still wants to be in these things. Like the dude doesn't have to do any of this stuff. He's
Nope.
he's an award-winning actor. The guy doesn't
Yep.
need to. He doesn't need to have anything to prove. But he's legendary. Let's just call it like it is. He's legendary, and
Yep.
so and the fact that we saw him show up in Venom, and we're just like, what? Like you get what I'm saying? Like Sony, they may not be the smoothest criminals in the game, but dang it, they know when they got something good going, and
Yep.
him just being like this kind of the stinger that keeps us being like, what's happening right now? How are these connected? That's good stuff. So, I suspect this means we'll probably see a post-credit scene with Michael Keaton in it in No Way Home. So let's be on the lookout for that. I'm calling it right now. And so, what do you like to say when you call it, Ladi?
Someone better pick up that phone. Why? 'Cause I fucking called it.
So y'all may be hearing that at the end of December. So we'll check back and we'll see what happens. But really cool, whatever it is that Michael Keaton's up to. Let's talk some video games. We don't talk video games often on here because there's not a ton of superhero video games going on. But we did just see that Warner Video Game, is it Warner Media, whatever. The people over that have the right to make video games for Warner Brothers Media and whatever. Which I never thought, I never really thought about how much that actually meant. But the WB has a ton of stuff. They have DC, but they also have HBO. They've got a ton of IP in their arsenal. And some genius over there was like, hey, people like Smash Brothers, and also Nickelodeon just made a thing. Or maybe they're like, Nickelodeon's making a thing. We have a ton of characters too. We could make a Smash Brothers game. And they have money, so they threw it at it. So out of nowhere, I had no idea this was coming out. I just, I saw it come up on Twitter. I was like, what the hell is this? And I watched the trailer, and Ladi, you watched the trailer. You're more of a gamer than I am, and you are a Smash Brothers aficionado. So, give me your take on this. What does this look like to you? And I've already said I'm going to play this day one, but how are you feeling about playing it?
You know, more when I first looked at it, I don't know, maybe I was tired, maybe I wasn't interested. Then I watched it again and I was just like, this looks fun. You know what I think it is? I looked at because I think the game looked really slow, and then I took the advice of somebody in the comment section in YouTube and sped it up to like 1.25, and it looked like, oh, okay, this looks like Smash Brothers now. Okay, then it interested me. The simple fact that Ultra Instinct Shaggy, do you know that, is in a video game now? This game is going to have millions of people playing it. The meme alone is going. This game is going to play like This game is going to hit like as soon as it's playable on Steam or whatever. It's going to fucking probably break their server just because of Ultra Instinct Shaggy. When they knew what they were doing when they showed that part where Shaggy charged up, I was like, Ultra Instinct Shaggy is actually in a video game. Wow. The meme, they finally made the meme real. And this is going to show a lot of um like video game devs and fighting game devs that you really should start taking memes more seriously because honestly, it can sell a game. This is sort of off topic, but it's sort of like the next fighting game, Capcom fighting game. People are saying that they have to put the vampire chick from Resident Evil 8 in the game because people will play the game just because she's in a damn fighting game. People will buy the game just because of that. And it's like this. People are going to play it just because of Shaggy. I want to see Ultra Instinct Shaggy versus Superman. This is the nerd meme dream. This is... Come on. Superman and Ultra Instinct Shaggy actually fighting each other. It's not a meme anymore. It could actually be reality in a few months. This is amazing. I'm gonna play it just because of the memes. Because I already know they're gonna put more memes in there. Because like they said, like a couple of people said in the comics, where's Big Chungus? Oh, he's coming. Oh, he's coming.
You know and I'm looking at the roster. They haven't even revealed the whole roster, but they revealed some of it. And I'm again reminded, like, they've got a ton of characters to work with. I mean, you mentioned Shaggy. They got the DC characters to work with. Right now, it's the the Golden Trio or whatever you want to call them. Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman. They are in it.
Yeah.
And Harley Quinn is in it. Obviously, that makes the most sense. But just like any Smash type game, just the weirdness of watching people who obviously in a real fight would never fight each other because one would kill the other. It's fun to see, from Adventure Time and the kid from Adventure Time and Bugs Bunny and Arya Stark, Steven Universe. You know,
and you know who else? You know who else can be in this game?
Who is that?
Mortal Kombat characters.
That's
because Warner Brothers owns Mortal Kombat.
That is true. They could work in the most popular Mortal Kombat characters. I mean, just thinking about what they have at their disposal. DC's roster is so large, they could do it, whatever. They got, they have Plastic Man, so they basically would have a Mr. Fantastic going in there. But they reached in and got Scooby Doo. I'm just like, and well, here's the real killer. I love the roster, and it's got I like the art design and everything like that. But the killer is it's a free to play game.
Yeah, it's a free to play game with dedicated servers.
That's the killer right there, because I thought, the Nickelodeon one. It looked interesting. I'm not really a Smash player, but I was thinking about giving it a try.
$60 for that game
is
not a good price.
I'm not paying. I'm not going to pay for a game I don't even know if I really want to play. This one, I can play and see if it's for me, and then I have no, real investment. And if it actually is worth playing, I might actually put some money into it. I'm assuming to personalize or whatever. I don't think they're going to have a pay to win situation because nobody likes that. Um,
Yeah, no one
no,
likes pay to win.
literally nobody likes that. I wish EA would fucking listen, and other people would fucking listen. But um, it just there's like low cost of entry, and it may be, it seems like they're trying to switch up the Smash uh, game archetypes a little bit. They're making everyone have kind of their own little character class, and they're making co-op fighting a thing. So multiplayer co-op fighting and guilds and the like. They're trying to do sort of the MMO style socializing, but also have it in a competitive arena. And at the very least, it's if people will take the time to try it, I would say. And I tell you what, this is good. The fighting game community needs more engagement and more people trying things out. And they need games that don't take a fucking PhD in in physics or whatever to know how to be any good at. That's they need to get. Well, I mean, my game is Street Fighter, and I haven't been playing it, but I've been paying attention to it. I finally feel like I know enough about the game to say something about it. And I've been at it for like 2.5, 3 years now. Versus Smash Brothers, I think I looked at some tutorials and we sort of played, and I was like, oh, that's how you do that stuff. And it really is a easy to learn, hard to master thing, but it also could be something where people can have fun. That thing that
Yeah,
we're supposed to have
that's
when we play video games, not
yeah.
frustration but fun.
I think fighting games need to go back to what you just said. Easy to learn, hard to master. This is where like a lot of people don't like it ever because I don't know because people don't like it when I constantly bring up Tekken. But Tekken is a perfect example of a game that's easy. Anybody can pick up the game, but it's hard to master. Like you can pick it up and play with a bunch of friends and have fun. But if you play against a master, they'll beat you down like like you stole something. But it's not like Street Fighter where if you just play, somebody doesn't even have to be a master. It's like you said, so you who's been playing the game for 3 years, play a beginner, it won't even be fun for either of you. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
And that's the problem with Street Fighter. You even if you're a master, you have to play against other masters. In Tekken, you don't have to play other masters. You could play against regular people and still have fun with the game.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, this is just a fun, and
Yeah.
why does it concern the gamer, the not the gamer cast, the supercast? Well, I imagine there's going to be a healthy amount of DC superheroes in it, and so this is a good. I think this is a good way to take advantage of the superhero, the DC Comics brand for WB. So I applaud this. I'm not, I don't want to say I'm excited, but I'm interested. And again, I'm going to play this on day one and see what's up and if I like it. Um, maybe it'll be worthwhile. It's probably going to be buggy as shit, to be honest, because the Nickelodeon one was, but it's hopefully they are better. They're good about updating and everything. And there's going to be an open play test coming soon, so it would be nice if I got included in that. We're going to see. So anyway, we're keeping an eye on this as always, and as it rolls out over within the next year, we'll come back and talk about it. I think we're probably both going to play it a little bit and see what's up. So we'll come back to it then.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So moving on, we're always hearing about people wanting to be in the MCU, right? We were just talking about Tom Hanks, but it's amazing the amount of talent that kind of gravitates towards Marvel. The DC is more like people are like, I guess I'll be in this if you pay me enough. But in Marvel, people were like, you remember we were talking about this with last week, but Anthony Hopkins, he wanted to be in it because he wanted his grandchildren to be able to watch movies with him in it and recognize him. And Tom Hanks, he was just kind of being funny, but I think it's clear that he would consider, it's like that. So that said, we have a rumor about Will Smith being in talks to be in the MCU, and
Mm-hmm.
in particular, and apparently his condition for inclusion, and it'll make sense if you know Will Smith, is that he'll only do it if he's playing someone who has some kind of major importance within the MCU. So it can't just be, he can't just be a guy. He can't just be the president of the United States or whatever. He's got to be someone who's going to be involved in the action going forward. And let's be honest, it's Will Smith, and he's one of the few people that could put that out there. And Kevin Feige would be like, you know what? I think we have a spot for you. So
Yeah.
I love Will Smith as an actor. I think he's pretty great in just about everything he does. And he's got star power, he's got charisma, and he can definitely do the physical stuff. So I don't know. If let's say, obviously Kevin Feige is going to pay attention to this. What do you think, Ladi? If he does, is he going to be able to convince Kevin Feige that to do this? And also, what would he be doing?
I'm trying to think of a role that he could play.
He had to remember major importance. So I have thoughts.
So we know the characters that have not been introduced into the MCU yet, which are the X-Men, the Fantastic Four,
the Inhumans.
Inhumans.
Even though it had an awful TV show, but it doesn't exist in the MCU.
I'm trying to think of somebody that fits Will Smith. I mean, could you make a Black Cable?
You could play. You can make Bishop, but Bishop isn't. Cable is majorly important. Bishop is somewhat important.
He could be a Black Cable because he
could be.
All right, who you're gonna think?
Well, I'm just saying, like, if we're thinking of major stature characters that haven't been introduced yet, I was kind of joking, but I was like, well, I mean, Galactus is he could be Galactus. I mean, if they're gonna have the anthropomorphized Galactus, he could be that.
Yeah,
he could be Immortus, the Time Lord. But I mean, we already have Kang, so maybe not him. He could be Apocalypse. I'm thinking of just like villains. I haven't even started with the good guys. He could be Apocalypse. Apocalypse or Mr. Sinister, both of whom, or the High Evolutionary.
Or
go ahead.
He can be the voice actor of Shuma Gorath.
Or he could be Shuma Gorath, but Shuma Gorath, I'm going to assume, is going to get defeated. So he wouldn't be majorly important, but just playing a villain, he could be Doctor Doom. I know people be like, "How dare you make a black man?
How you make Doctor Doom black?"
he's one of the black. Y'all don't know.
Well, I think it might.
Wait a minute. Y'all don't know the fictional country of Latveria's history. They could have black people there. They could have had black Latvians.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
How do you know they don't? That's just I'm coming up with just like bad guys, but he could very well be Mr. Fantastic with very little trouble because Reed Richards is a middle-aged man.
Yeah, Reed Richards. As I'm thinking, because I'm
just like, oh man, if they cast him as Reed Richards, think about all of the fanboy tears, all the rage quitting, all of the oh my gosh,
Reed Richards supposed to be a white man with brown hair.
I want that to happen just so I can just so I can drink in all of the delicious bitter, nerd tears.
Are you gonna be like the Kermit meme where it shows him drinking the tea?
Yeah, I'll have my pinky up too, and my pinky will be up, and I'm gonna sip on it like it's a fine wine. I'll decant it like a fine Chianti.
I mean, I want to see Will Smith. I love Will Smith in movies. One of my all-time favorite movies is iRobot. So I love Will Smith. I want to see him. if he wants to be in Marvel, he's another guy. If you want to be in the Marvel, you find I do agree. I would love for him to be a major character. I'm just thinking of like
I've got one.
what character. You know, he could be Nova. He could be
He could
Nova.
be Nova. He could be the Sentry. He could
Yeah,
be
yeah.
he could be the Blue Marvel, who is basically like an antimatter powered Superman guy.
It's a lot of people.
The Blue Marvel is, if y'all don't know about Blue Marvel, in the comics, he was a scientist. He was in an accident that turned him into like an antimatter, essentially an antimatter reactor within his body. And at the same time, he had a friend that had an opposite, uh, basic. So they always had to fight each other. The point is, he's so strong. He's so strong because of the way it works. He's so strong that he can fight Sentry straight up. And if you know anything about the Sentry, anyone who can straight up fight the Sentry and not die, like when the Sentry's going all out and cannot die, is pretty strong. So
Hmm.
I think he's a little too OP for the MCU, but it's a possibility. So there's all sorts of characters. He could be Professor X or Magneto. Either one would work properly. There's been rumors that they've been thinking about race swapping the Magneto and or Professor X anyway, because they want it to reflect rather than be about Nazi, Nazism in World War II, to instead reflect newer atrocities and newer conflicts that are very similar. So they could make, in other words, they could make them Asian, like, and all the crap that was going on in Southeast Asia in the 60s and 50s, 60s, and 70s. Or they could make them African, because there's been a bunch of, all that crap that was going on in the Congo and in Sudan and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
So it would vary. I mean, there are situations, and I mean, they could still be white too, because there was a ton of crap going on in Serbia and Bosnia back in the 90s. So there are all sorts of possibilities for how Professor X and Magneto become who they are. Because they were supposed to be basically stand-ins for Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. So it wouldn't be hard to find a conflict or a horrible situation that could form them, the similarly. So why not him for Magneto or Professor X? That's what I'm.
I
Why
don't
not?
know if I want him as I don't know if I want to see Will Smith as Professor X. Seeing Will Smith in a chair, nah. I want to see Will Smith if he's gonna be something. Make him Magneto. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
I still
I,
say Apocalypse would be pretty sweet too. I think he could be a good.
oh yeah, but is Apocalypse? He's not a major. He's not major. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
he's a string puller. He's a when he gets, like, he's been responsible for a ton of deaths because he believes in survival of the fittest, and he thinks that, and when he says survival of the fittest, he means not just among humans but amongst mutants. So
as
that's
we
why,
know,
remember, he had his horsemen, the horsemen of apocalypse. So
yeah.
he recruited, in his mind, the strongest mutants to be his generals. So yeah, I mean, if he were Apocalypse, I'm down with that. He's a major villain. Like, he's not a joke villain. He's a real people saw that last X-Men Age of Apocalypse, and they got the wrong impression about dude. Apocalypse is no joke. He's 3,000 years old for a reason, and
Yep.
it ain't because he's soft. So
Yeah.
I'm saying, if he's that Apocalypse, I'm down with that. So this is more speculation than news here. It's just fun to think about. But I say, Kevin Feige, you're the guru. You know the best thing to do. But I know you know better than to pass up on a sure winner. You know
Hmm.
better than that. You know what Will Smith brings to the table.
Yeah.
That'd be like if The Rock was like, "Hey, I want to be Hercules in the MCU," and Kevin Feige was like, "Let me think about that. Can we use Hercules?" Yes, you can. Yes, you can, because it's The Rock. Yes, you can, because it's Will Smith. let's make it happen, dog. Let's do
Yep.
it. So we'll see. We'll see what comes out of this. I'm sure we'll be hearing news about that in the coming year. Speaking of, I guess some casting, we're probably a ways away from Blade coming out. Even though we did hear his voice in the post credit of Eternals, we heard his voice. But now we can also
Mhm.
add another name to the cast. Apparently, Delroy Lindo is in talks, final negotiations to join the cast of Blade. Of course, as usual, an unnamed, role. I suspect he's going to be Whistler, but
Isn't Whistler the guy who helps Blade?
yeah, but he very well,
Yes.
and it depend. What it depends on, it also depends on the iteration of Blade. Blade doesn't always roll with Whistler. He sometimes has another assistant, or sometimes he's alone. So maybe
Better be it.
Delroy Lindo could very well just be a vampire king or a vampire, overlord or something like that too. He could be a villain. So let's not,
No,
yeah,
no. Let's
let's
just.
not assume he's Whistler. He could be, but he could not be too.
I am assuming it because this is the best thing that you can do is have him as Whistler. I am going to assume it, and if I'm wrong, I'm going to be heartbroken. I'm putting all my chips in one basket.
Right?
And I wonder who Blade's mom is going to be, because she is a very important character. Uh, that is something that I know we're supposed to be talking about this guy, but it makes me think more and more about what the movie. I want to see who will Blade mom be? Who's uh because we already know the guy who's playing
It's
the other
called.
vampire. Just forgot his name
You talking about in the movie?
from the movie from the other movie, the movie the Sony's making.
Oh,
Morbius,
yeah,
Morbius.
Morbius.
So
Oh,
we already know like all this stuff. I hope Spider-Man works with them because we all know Spider-Man does work with Blade because Morbius and all that they're all connected. You know what I mean? I would love
right.
to see Spider-Man and Morbius and Blade work together. I love to see. Oh man, I'm just excited because I'm just happy to see that they're making a new Blade movie, and they're putting up more actors, and I really think they should put more, like you said, add more flair to the characters. Just don't add just only black characters or only characters of, Caucasian characters. Start diversify it. If you can make what's the vampire king name? If you can make him Japanese, do it.
Yeah.
He's some Japanese. He used to be a Japanese warlord that's just lived forever.
Hmm.
Add some diversity to Blade. I just can't wait to see what they
Yeah.
do with the story.
They definitely have like Deacon Frost is a major character within Blade's
Yep.
past, and the way he was portrayed in the Blade movies, not exactly the same, but he's so I mean he could be Deacon Frost. Let's just say Delroy Lindo is such a great actor, he could be any of those things, and I'd be like, okay, I
Hmm.
could see that. Like I'm thinking like Deacon Frost, I could see that. Could it be a vampire like, king or something? I could see that. Could he be Whistler? Why not? Could he be Hannibal King? I mean, he could be anything. This guy is, I mean, I don't think he doesn't get as much, shine or credit as maybe he should. He's a great actor. I do believe he could step into any role here. And all he's going to do is make this better. So we got Mahershala Ali and Delroy Lindo in the same thing. Sign me up. I don't even know. I don't even have to know what the hell they're doing. They could be reading a fucking cereal box, and I'm like, hey, how many episodes we're gonna get of this? Oh, they're reading Captain Crunch today? Let's go. That's what I'm saying. These guys are great. So I'm excited just by this guy joining. So, um, but beyond that, we don't know anything else. So we'll keep you guys up to date on that as we find out more things about the Blade movie.
Yep.
Um, you know what? Spider Verse. Actually, right now, Spider Man is like all over the place. Am I right? And the
Yeah.
Spider Verse is all over the place. It's very clear that Sony feel like they've struck gold, not just with Tom Holland's Spider Man, but also with Venom and they're hoping Morbius and that little animated movie that could, which is awesome. Not enough
That
people went
little
to that not enough people went and saw this. Shame on you if you did not go see this movie. How do you
Spider Verse,
yeah,
one of the
how do you call
greatest superhero movies of all time.
exactly how do you call yourself a fan of superheroes and you haven't seen Into the Spider-Verse? You know what? If you haven't done that, excuse yourself and go watch that right now because you've done wrong. You've done wrong.
Honestly,
Yeah.
like real talk, I will watch that movie so many times over than Endgame. I'm being honest with you guys. I like Endgame, but I loved Into the Spider Verse. I watched like Into the Spider Verse like 20 times.
It's a great movie. It's a good. Not only is it a great movie, it's a great movie that appeals to many, many people of
Hmm.
many ages and background and everything. So it's a great movie. Sony knows this. They're making a part two, but according to some rumors, insider information, they aren't just talking about making a part two of Into the Spider Verse. They're talking about bringing Miles Morales into live action. So we
Hmm.
could have a live action Miles Morales Spider Man. And let's be honest, he's associated with Spider Verse. And the way things are going, it's I have no doubt that this would lead to him meeting Tom Holland, Spider Man, and Venom and Morbius and so forth and so on. Um yeah, I know you love this movie. It's I mean
So, I
I, wh-
mean, technically, technically, Into the Spider Verse is canon now.
I mean, why would the thing is
It is
there's no reason it wouldn't be
could
because
be. It is.
we're in a
It's canon.
multiverse.
Yeah, we're in a multiverse. It's technically canon. I won't even say technically. It is canon. It's in its own universe. I mean, just just to show you how crazy canon is. Did you hear that? Maximilian dude is in talks of making Assist Me canon.
What?
Assist you never watched Assist Me?
No, I didn't.
It was when Marvel vs. Capcom 3 was out, they did a series called Assist Me where they showed like all the characters. They did like little videos of all the characters in like live action of what they'll do, and it was a comedy. And like Marvel's talking about making it like fucking they're talking about making it it's canon to the MCU.
Oh my gosh.
Because I mean,
I
why?
guess why
You know,
not?
how could it not be canon? I mean, think about it. If anything had a Marvel character in it, it's canon now because of the multiverse. So the Spider-Man video games are canon. The Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse, they're all canon. I mean, technically Sony already pretty much said that the Spider-Man video games and Into the Spider-Verse are separate dimensions because you could get the Into the Spider-Verse costume
Right.
in the game. So I'm just you know what I hope? I hope this is not a lie. I hope and pray. I hope and pray that they do not make Miles live action. You know why? I think it would just be cool if he shows up. He's like a two-dimensional cartoon drawing, like he is in the movie, and he just shows up, and they're like, "Wait, what? Hey, Spider Man."
I wonder if they would do it like I forget the movie, but where they were they started out as like cartoons and then like it kind of there's not a filter but they kind of step through a portal and then you on the other side they become like live action things or something like that. It's I mean look
Like like
I can't remember the movie but it's something like that. But my point is that Miles might not even be the same Miles
mhm.
as in Into the Spider Verse, but I think this only makes sense because I mean, why wouldn't they? It's a very popular character and iteration of the character. Like I don't see a situation where they don't figure out how to do a Spider Verse live action crossover event, wherein you see Miles and Tom Holland Spider Man, and also probably you see you see Spider Gwen and Spider Ham and all. Yeah, I mean, you see a bunch of these different ones. I see a reality, reality. I see a future where Sony sees that Marvel is winning with multiverse, and they're like, we need
Mm-hmm.
this shit too. We did it first. We're gonna do this too. Um, so to that end, I'm excited. I'm excited because um, more Spider-Man is good. More Spider-Man is better. So if they wanna play around with the toys like that, do it. Let's go. And but just don't abandon the animated version because man, that movie's so good. And I just don't want them to be so enamored of the idea of doing live action that they forget that animation is great and it can be a useful a useful
Yeah,
you
useful
know
tool.
yeah, a useful tool. I mean, don't forget that. That's all. So, um, again, it's a rumor. So if we find out some more concrete information, be sure to share it with you guys. Moving on to something.
Mm.
This is not as. It's hard. I don't want to say it's hard to have any fun with this. But so we know that, and we were trying to kind of giving her the business last week with less information. I stand by some of the business giving because like being dumb, just because you're injured doesn't mean you can't still be dumb about something else. That said, Kevin Feige wrote a letter to the crew of Black Panther 2. As kind of as he's the boss, trying to encourage them, be like, hey, you guys are going on hiatus for a couple months. That sucks. I know we know y'all wanted to get done, but we just as he's saying, we can't move forward without Letitia Wright because apparently she suffered a much more significant injury than was originally thought. Fractured her shoulder and had a concussion, and so she's back home. And they were shooting around her, but they can't do that anymore. So now they're off for a couple months.
Oh, what happened? Did they fall?
It
Did
was
she like
they didn't say specifically, but it was definitely in the process of doing some kind of stun or whatever. And I doubt she was meant to be like in any real danger, but shit happens. It's
yeah, sort of like it's like the thing where Tobey Maguire was like my back. Everyone thought he was pretending, but no, he really did hurt his back in that scene.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it happens. I mean, everything can't go perfectly or whatever. So it is unfortunate to hear about this being a much more severe injury than we previously thought. So apparently she's been trying to recuperate for probably over a month now, and so we do wish her a speedy recovery. We want her to be all right. We would love for her to be all right. To consider the welfare of other people too when she's being all right. You know what I'm talking about.
Hmm.
That said, this is definitely setting back Black Panther 2's eventual release date. It's gonna have to. I think they pushed it back to where it is with that in mind.
Hmm.
Uh, but it is unfortunate. This really kind of sucks because they are literally shutting down production and not doing anything for a couple months. Maybe that means they'll improve some aspects of the story, but um, I don't know that that's. I don't think it's a good thing, honestly.
Yeah. Man, I don't know, man. I I remember I talked about this with you. Is this movie coming out next year, man? Like, because this isn't a major injury, man. Like, I would like to see the movie, but you can't rush her back. Some people are, screaming even after this news came out to rush her back. And I don't
To
know.
which I say, fuck off.
Yeah.
Exactly. No, fuck off. This is, she's not a fucking doctor that needs to go save lives. She's an actor. You can wait for a damn movie to come out. It's not that serious. Um,
Yeah.
fuck it. This is why. Remember, I said this. I was like, this is why nerds used to get beat up because we like just chill out. It's a movie. You just other things will be coming out before then. You'll be fine if you don't get Black Panther 2 immediately. So anyway,
Nerd internet bullies are some of the funniest people.
yeah. But yeah, that's I think I just like I said, we do wish her a speedy recovery. Absolutely. Even like I said, we gave her the business about her COVID silliness last weekend and in previous weeks. Um,
Hmm.
but having more information, it is important that we note that she is kind of sacrificing her body or whatever for this, and I appreciate that. I really do. I love the character of Shuri. I don't want her to be recast, which is why I hope she comes to her senses about some of this shit. But speedy recovery to her, and we will report back whatever news we get about that. I'm assuming we're not going to hear about it again until February, January or so, and we'll talk about it then. So, last bit of news. This is kind of a last minute addition, but just something interesting. I think I've called this the follow up to all of our thoughts about Scarlett Johansson's lawsuit against Marvel. Remember when they resolved it. Um, they finally came together. They resolved it, settled it out of court, etc.
Hmm.
And then we're all friends again. We're all they kissed and made up, and now all of a sudden she is going to be in their movie. I think she's supposed to do Tower of Terror or something like that. Um, but now suddenly she's on it again, and yay, we love her, and she's like, yeah, Disney's awesome. So to that end, there comes this story from the direct. They're talking about that she is now a producer, executive producer, or actually she may be a plain old producer on an upcoming Marvel Studios project, which remains nameless. Which to me probably sounds to me like they're in the very very earliest stages of getting this thing together. Maybe it's just they got maybe they got a script, or maybe they just have an idea and they're like, "Do you want to produce this?" But my, how things have changed. Now all of a sudden they want her to put her name on something and actually get a Marvel Studios project made. It's quite different, isn't it, Lottie? That's quite different than
Yep.
they were months ago.
Yep. Because now they're like, oh yeah. By the way, Scarlett Johansson, do you want to do a movie for us again?
Yeah,
And I'm happy. I'm happy this got resolved, and I'm happy to see that uh she's still back. She's not technically done with the MCU because everyone's saying she's done with the MCU. No, she's not. They can easily bring her back, or she can be another multiverse. They've already showed there's different universes of
right.
Scarlett Johansson's out there.
Well,
So
they are saying that it's not Black Widow related. So it's going to be not. She's not going to be in front of the camera, or that's important to keep that in
dang it.
mind.
Well, she can still voice act. You
Yeah.
don't have to be in front of the camera to voice act.
Well, I'm reading the article says that, and this, I don't know where they're getting this from. It could be the long rumored A Force movie, which, by the way, I think I may have mentioned it before, but Marvel is definitely interested in making an A Force movie. Hell, I'm definitely interested in making an A Force movie because A Force is awesome, and I love that part as much as gimmicky and contrived as that bit in Endgame was. I was one of them. You were sitting right next to me. Remember? Yeah,
Hmm.
I made a lot of noise when A Force when the little A Force scene came up. So,
Yeah.
uh, yes, please. If she's gonna be in running that show, hell yeah, is what I say. It's I'm just glad she's back in the fold. You know that Marvel Studios, that's a big pack of dogs right there. You don't want to fuck with them, and
Yeah.
she's back on the inside of. So I'm down. Whatever this is, we have no information as usual. We're just speculating. But if she's doing A Force, hell yeah. And glad that their working relationship is back together. It's like why it's like watching you know your aunt and uncle, or your not your aunt and uncle, but
Mm.
your dad and your dad's sister reconcile after they kind of argued at Thanksgiving. So they've come back together. So that's cool, and so we find out more about that. We will let you all know, and that is all of the news for the week. And I thought we weren't going to have a whole lot to say. We had a ton to say about that. But you know what? We probably missed some things. We can't cover it all. But if you have something that you want to add, or you want us to cover, or just have something to say about our commentary, get down to the comments. Let us know what you're thinking. And of course, you can always hit us up, supernotfunnyshow@gmail.com or at supernotfunnys1 on Twitter. And, we'll chop it up. We'll see what's up in the news. All right, moving on. We got a review to do. Ladi. You and I, we spent the time to binge watch a brand new show that came on Hulu from Marvel Animation. This Marvel TV, actually, I suppose you could say, not Marvel Studios. So this is one of the old shows, the very last shows that they were making at Marvel TV before it was folded into Marvel Studios proper. And it's Hit Monkey. Hit Monkey, which is let's just call it. Is it one of the most comic book things they could have made? It's literally about a monkey, a snow macaque, a Japanese snow macaque monkey that becomes a dangerous world-class assassin, and it's very much it's very Japanese inspired in terms of like the.
So he basically became John Wick.
Yeah, he wears the suit and everything. Yeah, I mean, in the comics, is a character that was created something like 10 or 15 years ago. I want to say sort of as a joke, but like taken seriously, he's one of the in the comics was one of the world's top assassins. Wears the little black suit. With the white shirt and black tie, and wears sunglasses, and a total badass. And so, some genius or geniuses decided to greenlight this at Marvel, and we get this. So it's got Jason Sudeikis as the assassin Bryce, who becomes a ghost, and then Olivia Munn plays Akiko, and you got George Takei. He's her uncle Shinji, and Fred. I'm going to say his name wrong. Fred Tatasciore, who is apparently a pretty prolific voice actor, playing Hit Monkey. And so, we looked into this, watched it, and we've got things to say. We got plenty to say about it. Ladi, I'm just gonna say, you didn't think there was going to be much here, did you?
Okay, I'm gonna admit what's a little bit lower than mild, but not cold.
Tepid.
I was like lukewarm.
Yeah.
Towards Hit Monkey. I thought it would be like a decent watch. I was excited for it because I wanted to see something different. But my God, my God,
I feel you, man. I was just like, I was excited for it just because I was like, man, you know what? Hit Monkey was like this weird one-off character that was kind of cool in the comics, and I was like, well, if they do that, this could be fun. I was a little lowered expectations because MODOK sort of disappointed me, and then we get this, and holy shit, this is a good show. Like this,
yes.
Like have you ever heard someone say, well, this is way better than it has any right to be? Because
yes,
man, this show is way better, like far better than it has any right to be. Like,
yes, this is like Disney Plus quality, like of like the writing.
Like the only reason why I put What If above it is only because What If it's playing around with cooler toys. That's it.
Yeah,
but that's the only reason. But this this play. You remember? You know what this makes me think of? Like if you want to draw some comparisons or parallels or whatever, it reminds me of the Wolverine in
Yeah.
some ways.
Yeah. Yeah.
It reminds me. It has the best qualities of like sort of the samurai epic, sort of like westerns. Um, it has the best. It draws even some from like Kill Bill, which of course draws from Japanese stuff too. Draws some from Kill Bill. There's John Wick. I mean, there's a lot of DNA mixed within this thing, and also of course it's in the Marvel Comics universe, so you get to see awesome characters, like some deep cut characters too. This
Yeah.
this show, the writers, they know what the hell they're doing. They knew what they were about. Like, let's just say this: they knew what they were about. I almost feel like they were like, man, we better swing for home runs on this because we might not get another season of this. And man, did they go hard into this. So
Yeah, man. That wasn't a grand slam. That was like, that's not a grand slam. They hit that shit out of the park.
yeah, yeah.
Oof.
No, it's the thing is that there's some I don't think you've ever seen Ted Lasso, but I always describe it like, imagine if John Wick with a monkey and a ghost Ted Lasso. Like that, it's because Jason Sudeikis he's kind of killing it right now, and he being the voice, the personality of the assassin Bryce, who he's spoiler, he dies in the first episode, but then he goes on to haunt this snow macaque, and then there's like all this spirituality and stuff. It's so like. I think when I tweeted about it, I was like, this is like a love letter to like Japanese, not just Japanese culture, but like some of their anime and cinema and stuff
Yeah.
it's got such love for, kind of the tropes of those sorts of entertainment, and also it draws on the superheroes and the hero, the villains and whatnot that of Japanese descent that are in Marvel Comics, and there are several that are very interesting and very very important within Marvel Comics. So you get to see, you got to see Fat Cobra. I was floored when I was like, Fat Cobra's in this thing. I cannot believe they pulled one of the immortal weapons into this. And they had the Silver Samurai, and they had Lady.
Yeah.
They when I remember at the end of the first episode, they were like coming up on this season, and I was like, Lady Bullseye in this shit. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
it is going down. And man, I tell you what, it's so, what else it also draws sort of from Kill Bill. Do you remember when the bride was fighting what was it, go whatever, the Japanese and all those the people in like the suits and masks. And you remember how bloody it was? That's the way this thing plays out. This show is fucking awesome. It is awesome. That's right. A show about a ghost and a monkey in a suit is fucking awesome.
Jesus, it's like you said, like, first of all, I pronounce the show hit monkey. That's how I pronounce it. Man, listen, when yesterday I was just like, you know what? I'll probably watch maybe 1 or 2 episodes of Hit Monkey, and then I'll probably watch some more on Monday. Listen, I came home at 1:30. I binge watched every single episode that day. I could not stop. It was an adrenaline rush from the beginning to the end. It was and I want the audience to know that it's not just this like steroid action comedy. I mean, steroid action comedy. There's like really good like scenes in the movie that are the writing where you actually feel like really sorry for the characters because they went through something that they didn't choose for it to happen to them. And it's really good. Like I said, it's really good writing. And I feel that Kevin Feige and Disney does not have the right to take this away from us. I would not let them take this from us. I will sign a petition that we get a season 2 because, my God, you cannot let that end on a one season. I mean, it's trending. You know that, like yesterday when I went on it, Hit Monkey season 2 question mark was trending on Twitter because everyone's like, "What the hell? There might not be a season 2." Disney, what?
Yeah. Well, I will say we're not getting a second season of this.
I know.
Just like I mean, I was explaining it to you before, but like for the listeners, this is a legacy show. This was just like the Fox movies that were being produced right up to the very end of the merger. This was the last of Marvel TV was independent. And Kevin Feige does not give any shits about what Marvel TV was up to because he didn't have to. He was Marvel Studios. He didn't care. Now that he's in charge of all that stuff, the legacy stuff, they paid the money for it. They're going to put it out. Contractually, they got to do it. They do it. But that's it. That's if you see anything that comes out of Marvel TV into Marvel Studios, it's going to be in a different form than it was before. And this is animation, and I don't think that they are that interested in carrying over the animation. Now, I could be wrong. Let's hope I'm wrong. I just don't see this going. And here's the other thing. It's rated R. There's no way in hell they put the Hit Monkey on Disney Plus. It simply isn't going to be on Disney Plus. It is. Yeah. This is a very R-rated, bit of animation, and therefore it's just out of that family-friendly, thing. So there's many reasons why we won't get a second season of this. Again, I could be wrong, but I really doubt it. So,
yeah.
But I think overall you get our impression. This is a damn good show. There's lots of action. There's lots of gore. There's some the animation isn't top notch. It shows that there's not as much money as you would like into it. But that being said,
but it grows on you.
Yeah. That being said, there is a lot of well choreographed, well executed, well framed action sequences. There's much, there's a lot of reverence for comic books, right? There's a lot of reverence for the Japanese, kind of anime stylings are in there as well. Mm-hmm. And there's legit, when you see some of the fights, everything is legit. Like you feel like, oh, this shit is serious. And you sort of see the growth of Hit Monkey from, supposedly pacifist to, chopping people's heads off and shit like that. Just going ham. And let me tell you what, I loved Lady Bullseye. Was she not just a gut clenching, spine tingling, like, you just like, no, like this bitch will kill everybody. Given the chance.
It was getting to the point that I'm like, why? Stop it. Why are you killing? Why? She's just killing people for no reason.
Just cause. There are several and this, I guess we could do some spoilers. Why not? When she fought the monk, and I was like, my dog was like, whatever. It's like he was not phased until, and then she found out his weakness. But I was like, man. I'm like, it was some straight up old school, like, martial arts stuff. The old master that's just like, you're moving too slow,
Yep.
There's some great chasing. I can't, we could spend an hour sitting here talking about all the great things.
One of my favorite scenes in the whole show was the casino episode. When he got the taste of that brown liquor, I was like, look at Hit Monkey going in, boy. I was like, man, and I told one of my friends because they're watching it, and they got to episode 4, and he was just telling me like, man, this show's crazy, man. But and he's like, because he was like telling me that, oh man, he got to the part where he killed the twins, and he
Mm-hmm.
was like, oh man, I don't know. If, he's like, because he was basically saying, does the TV does this show like one of those shows that starts off really good but slows down? I said, listen, do not try to peak, try to cap how over the top this thing is about to become.
He
Because
had,
when you
yeah,
try
yeah,
to,
yeah,
you're going to get surprised each and every time.
yeah. He hadn't even gotten to the part where he runs into Fat Cobra.
Yep.
Or when they bring Lady Bullseye in, I was like, this. I was like, how bad? And then I saw how easily and for no reason she just kills people. I was like, man, you guys are in trouble. Um, I will say there's a couple things that I was not. I was just like, oh, okay, man. Like I'm not like, oh, this is like a flawless show. It's not a flawless show. There's an episode of Slowdown that kind of just kind of like, this is a bit slow. The part where he's just kind of hanging out with Akiko, um,
Yeah.
it was a bit of a lull like in it, and I was like, this is kind of off speed of what everything going on, and also the utter predictability of the ending. Like every bit of that ending, I was just like, okay, I see where this is going. Like in fact, I knew the uncle. I knew that the uncle wasn't straight. I was like, this is for like probably about the time about the fifth, probably sixth episode. I was like, this guy probably did this.
Yeah, I kind of
I was
start.
like, he probably did this.
I didn't think he did it, but I was getting like vibes that he he was involved. But I'm not gonna lie, I thought the monk that was helping them
Hmm.
was that monk that was like organizing everything.
Yeah. No, I was like, it seems like the uncle's probably in on it, and it was true. And then like the guy, I was like, this is too obvious. This is probably probably him. And it was cool that he was not. They introduced a character, the bonsai master, and then his weakness was his power came from like that one tree, and it's just things like little things like that. It wasn't like he wasn't a compelling uh final villain. I
No.
mean,
What
he was cool, but he wasn't compelling. And then the other thing I was just like, of course it's going to happen was Akiko, I'm going to be the Lady Bull. And I'm like, how are you going to be Lady Bullseye? You don't look like you can fight at all. Like,
but one thing I don't understand is I understand she's sad because her uncle died, but at the same time, this motherfucker killed your best friend, got a lot of people that you know killed, and you saw that he was about to kill the cop. Why are you just ignoring all of that? You know what I mean? I understand it's writing.
because
They have to
reasons.
write it that way, but it's just didn't make it. That part I was just like, this is kind of dumb. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah. But I do like they left it open that okay, we can see Hitmonkey's going to go on to do more things, and the whole thing where Bryce try kind of his arc, like it's not just about hit like the thing is there's two arcs going on. Hitmonkey learning to become what he's meant to become, and Bryce kind of coming to terms with his past and like getting rid of, he said, the seed of evil within himself, so that he could at least move on. And apparently he moved on to hell. But then,
Yeah.
but then he got to come back and hang out, and I was like, yeah, their dynamic trying to figure each other out and rely on each other was pretty good. And like I said, seeing Bryce and actually seeing where he came from and where he ended up was very, very nice. And Hitmonkey, his whole it was an actual spiritual journey. So,
Yeah.
but just overall, great show. I know we've been talking quite a bit of a long time about this, but great show. I highly recommend it. I'm sad that it will never get more, but I am glad we got this. I think that whoever decided to greenlight this, that thank you very much to them, and to all the people who worked so hard on this. I know they probably moved on to other things, but you all did a great job, and I absolutely adored this. It's one of my favorite things we watched this year.
Maybe we can get a Hit Monkey movie. Hit Monkey.
You know, you know, think weirder things could happen. I'm not holding my breath for it, but I'm just happy we got what we got. We should, whenever we get anything good, we should just be happy that it happened because it's so hard to get things done in Hollywood. So,
Yep.
so you guys get out there, check that out. Let us know what you think down in the comments. All right, moving on to our main topic, and it is, I easily say the biggest piece of nerd news this week. There's all sorts of other nerdy crap going on, but it's not as important as if Spider-Man can do what Spider can in the multiverse, and most importantly, where the fuck is Andrew and Toby? We're gonna find out. We're gonna sit here. We're gonna talk about review and diagnose and all that stuff. The Spider-Man No Way Home final trailer. All right, so we just watch the trailer yet again. I swear, this is probably one of the most watched trailers like ever. In fact, I'm pretty sure it's probably one of the most watched trailers. It's probably set a record or something like that. We've been talking about this damn movie, it feels like, for 30 years now. It feels like we've been talking about it nonstop since I was born. And you know what? What have we been talking about? Who's going to be in this damn movie? Is it because we knew it was going to, from the teasers, we knew, okay, multiverse, right? And then we saw the pumpkin bomb, and we saw Doc Ock in the teaser, from a couple months ago. And we saw it's literally going to be multiverse. So like, who's going to be in this thing? And the least surprising person that's in this trailer, not even Goblin. It's not Goblin. It's fucking Sandman. Like, to me, I'm the least surprised about that because I'm like, well, why not? Like, we literally saw Sand before. Him and the lizard. I'm unsurprised by those things. The next biggest surprise is the fucking invisible Spider-Mans that are in the. Apparently, they have the stealth suit on.
Yep.
So,
and
yeah,
I already know it'll be a perfect way to introduce or have him show up when Mary Jane is falling off the building. Andrew Garfield saves her because it is clearly a callback to when Gwen Stacy fell and died.
Yeah, hopefully this time he won't shoot her with the noose webbing or whatever it is.
Yeah.
that kills. Yeah. So let's. I don't know if we need to do. Do you want to do a specific trailer breakdown, or are we just gonna like general thoughts? Because you could spend a lot of time on this trailer. There's a bunch of stuff going on in this, but it's also like you said, the elephant in the room is more or less where the Tobys, and I don't know. Did you see that little clip that somebody had from the Brazilian trailer where apparently whoever cut the trailer wasn't smart enough to cut out a particular few frames? I don't even call it a few frames. It's probably about 10 or 12 frames that they should have cut and they didn't.
Okay, I know. I didn't see that. What happened?
Okay, so I can't find it for you right now, but in the Brazilian trailer, it shows them, Sandman and Electro and Lizard jumping at Spider-Man. So you see Spider-Man on the left, you see them three jumping at him. But as he's moving forward, Lizard's head snaps to the side like someone's punching him or kicking him. But you don't see anybody doing it. It's like he gets hit by an invisible something. As if somebody's hitting him. And someone else pointed out, like, if you look at Electro, he's going for somebody else that isn't Tom Holland. Sandman is going for Tom Holland's Spider-Man. And so the idea here is because this is all CG. Like, this literally none of this is practical at all. Everything that we're going to be seeing in that particular fight is going to be animation. And so it would be nothing to just delete a couple Spider-Man from the scene. That's because conjecture here. And yet you still have motherfucking Andrew Garfield going like, I don't know what you're talking about. He's just going around like, I'm not in this movie. Okay, you know what? Now you're just being okay. I get it. You never take your fucking mask off, so you weren't actually in the movie.
Oh yeah,
You
yeah.
you you provide you
I'm
provided the
watching it,
voice.
Frank. Yeah, I am definitely watching it, Frank. None of you are 1,000. Lizard and Electro are not going after Tom Holland at all. Like really, you're like you said, they're in stealth suits. Like when you look at it now, they're not going after them.
And
You're
it's clear that they've been deleted from the footage in
yeah.
order to preserve the quote surprise. No one's surprised by this. Why
No
don't
one
you
is.
just like
It's
literally
it's
no
so
one's surprised by
it's
it?
so dumb. It's so dumb at this point. Like it's honestly at this point, I really feel like Sony and Marvel are just being fucking dumb
Well,
because
yeah, I'd say it's more. This is a compromise between Sony and Marvel. It's pretty clear Sony wants this shit to be out, and it's also pretty clear Marvel's like, hey, bitch, look, you got to tease. Like, look,
I don't.
It's like don't go for the head immediately. You got to work up to it. You know, work around it. Work the shaft first.
It's just I feel like it's dumb at this point because this is something that's been leaked 2 years ago that they were going to remember. I talked about this with you like 2 years ago about a live action Into the Spider-Verse movie. This is something that's been talked about multiple times over, and you got the villains from their movie. It's at this point, you are literally, it's like imagine if they had Endgame and they didn't put Thanos in the final trailer. Like, what the fuck? We know he's in the movie. Well, you don't know. Well, how do you know? How do you know Thanos is the main villain of Endgame?
Let's just you know what? We're not playing this game with y'all. We know they're in there. I do like though that they finally cleared Tom Holland to actually talk about some of the quote secrets. So he talked about meeting Willem Dafoe on the set and everything, which was cool. I'm down with that. But he's clearly in it, right?
Yeah.
And you hear his voice. He's very clearly in it. Is it? I mean, at this point, it's kind of like you know what it is. It's kind of like a woman, a woman in a movie like where they're covering up. You know, they're covering up their breasts, but not their crotch. I'm like, look. You're naked. You're basically naked.
I mean,
why are you?
it makes no sense.
At this point, we've seen you naked. Like, look, babe, I've seen you.
I don't
naked
understand
before.
it.
Why are you covering up like I've never seen you? You know what? That's why
it makes no sense because
it's not even infuriating. It's just like I'm just shaking my head. Like
it's just stupid because it's like you said, they're being so secret with like William Dafoe. They're clearly showing that the original actor of Dr. Octavius in the movie, but they're like, how do you know it's William Dafoe? It could be somebody. They're like, because I remember people were saying, how you know it's William Dafoe? It could be somebody impersonating the voice. That's fucking William Dafoe. I don't give a damn what you say. We know that's William Dafoe. Just show his face. Like, why are you trying to be so secretive of a movie that clearly is a Spider-Verse movie? Venom, they just had a damn trailer where they show Venom show up. I mean, not the trailer. At the end of Carnage, Venom shows up in the movie. So we know he's in the movie. So why are you even pretending that we don't know these people are in the movie? Venom's in the movie. We know it. Like, because one of my friends was like, how do you know? He was like, how do you know Venom's in the movie? I was like, Carnage. And he was like, oh, yeah. I was like, why haven't they shown Venom yet? We know he's going to show up.
Weren't we talking about that? And it might just be for a post-credit scene too. But we were talking about Tom Hardy having on that No Way Home hat on. So I'm just like, what are y'all? The bad thing is that this could just be like a bunch of smoke and mirrors and stuff. And if they do that, man,
if Tobey
yeah. No, I was just
if Tobey Maguire.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I was just gonna say if Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are not in this movie, fuck you, Marvel.
I would just be like, you talk about fumbling the bag. Like
Yeah.
y'all got all the bag. The bag's full. The bag got all of the money in it, and y'all really trying to fumble this bitch. Like, come on, don't play. Stop playing. But this is what Marvel does. So I'm chill. I'm for real chill. I saw this final trailer. I'm like, okay, this looks pretty. This looks like it's on point. It looks like it's on brand with the Spider-Man movies that we've seen so far. You know, if we're
Yep.
gonna let's talk about the trailer specific, not what wasn't in the trailer, but what was in the trailer. It's pretty on brand. You know, uh, Pete, as usual, got way too much shit going on in his life, trying to do he's clearly going to be, he's going to have the choice of trying to save everyone and, you know, not being able to. Is MJ's going to and Ned are going to be in danger. There's gigantic fights with impossible odds. Apparently Doc Ock is just like on his game or something like that, kicking ass. But also maybe is he an ally? People have been speculating after the fight's over, after he and Doc Ock fight, does he become an ally rather than an enemy? So
Yeah, because let's be honest, Doc Ock never really was that much of a villain. He was just a guy who was in the 5 stages of grieving.
mhm,
You know what I mean? He was in the 5 stages of grief, and he had the anger, the unacceptance, all that stuff, and finally acceptance when he realized the mistake he made and his wife is gone. There's nothing he could do to bring his wife back.
right,
Because I guess he thought that if he finishes the experiment, maybe something, his wife could come back, but no, it's not. No matter what he does, he's destroying everything. And
right,
that's the thing. And this is where I say as well, I was just telling, like, I told this to one of my friends about this with the movie. I feel like the other Spider-Mans, Toby and Andrew Garfield Spider-Mans, are going to be the ones who basically keep Tom Holland from making the mistakes that alter their lives.
right,
You know, each Spider-Man went through uh, a thing of grief. Like they lost like really somebody really important to them. You know, Andrew Garfield lost the woman he loved. Tobey Maguire Spider-Man lost his best friend.
mhm,
And clearly we see both Mary Jane and Ned in serious trouble. I think both Spider-Mans are going to save either or of them. Where what's his name is going to save Ned so he doesn't lose his best friend, and Andrew Garfield is going to save uh, Mary Jane so he doesn't lose the woman he loves.
right. Well, and we still, and another aspect of this is that he clearly is going to come into conflict with with Doctor Strange. He and Doctor Strange are going to come to blows because of you know he is Doctor Strange is basically telling him, hey, the multiverse is open. Other villains from other alternate universes who fight Spider-Man are crossing over and call. We have to go, or you have to go, because apparently I don't have to go use my magic to do anything except make snow cones. But you got to go you got to go fetch them all and send them back to their reality. And he lets them know, or probably Doctor Octopus lets them know, like everyone, when you do that, you're sending them to die because they're gonna die fighting Spider-Man. And and which I actually really love this aspect of it. Other people might think, so what? They just kick them out of the universe. They don't belong here. But that's not Peter Parker. That is not who Peter Parker is as a person.
Yeah.
He very much feels like he can save everybody, and that is what causes all the grief in Peter Parker. It doesn't matter which Peter Parker you're talking about. Everywhere in the multiverse, Peter Parker's grief is having the power and the responsibility, and it never being enough. It's never quite enough. He's always got to lose something. If he doesn't lose a person, he loses a part of himself. And
Mm-hmm.
everything's always being sacrificed because that power comes with great responsibility, and he believes it to his core. And so I love the fact that he is willing to fight a losing fight. Let's call it what it is, a losing fight versus probably the most powerful person on earth that isn't named Wanda, right?
Yeah.
To maintain that principle. But I'm not surprised by this. They have understood Peter's core personality, his values, and how to embody them and show them on screen from the get go with this series. And I'm convinced that this is gonna end strongly. Yeah, it's a big old CG fight. I know that. I understand that. That isn't why I come to. Believe it or not, that's not why I come to Spider-Man movies. I don't come to see him web motherfuckers up and kick them, kick Sandman in the chin or whatever you want to call it. I don't come for that. I come for it because Spider-Man is first and foremost. He's Peter Parker, and seeing him try to navigate his life while having all this power and a desire to always do good, and how it beats him down. That's what I'm here for. And so
Yeah.
I'm confident in their ability to tell that story.
I completely agree with you. That's what we like about Spider-Man. Like you said, in my opinion, when he says, "Well, if they go to their universe, they'll die," I'm more like, "Fuck them, fuck them."
Because
That's me.
You know why we say that? Because
Why?
we know those people. We know when they died. We know them, right?
Yeah.
The only person we ever really felt bad about dying at fighting Spider-Man was Doctor Octopus. He's
Yeah.
the only one. Every other one, when they died, you're just like, you suck.
Fuck them.
Yeah, basically. And it's I think the kind of the philosophical, the underpinnings of what Spider-Man is about, he can't abide that. He just can't. So, like, I'm actually thinking, when I think about this, I'm glad that he didn't live through the snap. I'm absolutely glad that he was snapped away, because living through that failure would have destroyed Peter Parker. Would have destroyed him.
Oh yeah. Oh
So,
yeah. 100% right.
so we don't have a whole lot else. Look, we have less than a month till this comes out. Less than a month. It comes out on the 17th of December, the week before Christmas, and I'm damn excited. I loved this trailer. It was awesome. It told me a lot. It kept some things back that I already fucking know, but whatever. I'm just ready. I'm just ready for this thing to be here, which of course means we're going to be talking about this, No Way Home for the next few weeks, because more leaks and all that other fun stuff. It's cool. Ladi, I'm sure you love this trailer.
Yeah, I loved it.
It's the jam. So, good job, Sony. Good job, Marvel. And we are really, really looking forward to this. So, all right. Well, those are our thoughts on this trailer. What did you guys think when you saw it? Any speculation? Any thoughts on that? How about thoughts on what we said about it? Are we on track, or are we way off base? Let us know down in the comments. Or, of course, you can always hit us up, supernotfunnyshow@gmail.com, or at supernotfunnys1 on Twitter. And let's talk about this, man. Let's talk about more spoil whatever you want to. Share ridiculous out there, thoughts and rumors. It'll be fun. And while you're in the clicking mood, why don't you get down there, hit that subscribe button, join the Super Not Funny Show family. We'd love to have you. And, of course, you can hit the notification bell. It lets you know when we drop more content. The Super Not Funny Show, it doesn't work if it's just me. I've got to have my good friend Ladi and all his knowledge and insight to make this thing run well. So, Ladi, I know you're out there on social media. Why don't you let them know how they can contact you?
Oh yeah, you can always find me on my Instagram, Anukinihun. Is ANUKINIHUN, which is in the process of becoming a professional Instagram account. Yeah, I didn't tell you. Instagram invited me to basically get the blue check mark. I don't know why. I don't know why. They're just like, hey, you want a blue check mark? Yeah.
Don't mind if I do.
So that's happening. And of course, you can find, and also on my growing YouTube channel, which is Keeney Hoon 25. I'm almost done building my streaming PC, and I just bought Marvel Avengers. So you guys who are listening to this, you're superhero fans. I mean, not Marvel Avengers, Guardians of the Galaxy. You're superhero fans. You want to watch superhero stuff. So watch me stream Guardians of the Galaxy. You can enjoy it together. Have a few laughs. Don't be shy. You can talk to me. I'm easy to talk to, as you can see onto the podcast. So yeah, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, turn on the notifications so you know whenever the stream goes up.
Yeah, you guys go check that out. You may even one of these days see or hear a certain fabricant talking and playing video games. One of these days, you know how I am about video games, but I was because I've been thinking like, hey, I could stream too. Why the heck not? I've got some.
Yeah.
I got some stuff. We need to play Scott Pilgrim versus the World, which is in my mind sort of a superhero thing. So
Yeah,
so,
definitely. Yeah, definitely should play some Scott Pilgrim.
so hey, you guys check that out when that comes around. So well, that has been episode 27 of the Supercast. We're back on track. We're back uh, on regular updates on through the end of the year. We got a lot to look forward to for the rest of the month, and we're going to come back next week. Guess what? It is Hawkeye week. 2 episodes of Hawkeye dropping next week, and we're going to definitely talk about that. It's going to be lots of fun. You guys come back and join us. Until then, I have been Modi Pay, your resident fabricant and commentator extraordinaire on all things pop culture, joined by the anime expert, video game designer, and lover of all things superhero, my good friend Ladi. And we'll see you guys on the other side of the thread. Peace.
Peace.